Do you feel like your belly fat is getting bigger every single day? Do you wake up with discomfort, bloating, or even a burning sensation in your stomach? What if I told you that in just 15 days, it feels like your belly grows every single morning? You press your hand against that heavy bloating. What if you could break this cycle in just 15 days? This is not magic. It is 7 science-backed habits that force change. 1. Swap morning coffee for warm lemon water to jumpstart digestion. 2. Stop eating 2 hours before bed to let metabolism rest. 3. Add chia seeds to lunch for fiber. 4. Prioritize deep breathing. 5. Cut all liquid sugars, even those healthy fruit juices. 6. Walk 15 minutes after dinner to stabilize blood sugar. 7. The game changer. Start every meal with raw greens to prevent insulin spikes. Follow these steps for 2 weeks. Watch the bloating vanish and your energy return. See your reflection change as your clothes finally fit differently. Start today. Do not skip that final tip, because it is the secret. At your reflection, pulling at the waistband of your jeans that no longer button. This did not happen in a day. It started months ago, with late-night takeout boxes piling up. Hours spent slumped in a desk chair. You feel the weight of it every time you bend over. Your body is a biological machine, processing a steady stream of sugars and refined carbs. Since you never moved enough to burn that excess fuel, your metabolism took the path of least resistance. It packed that energy away as visceral fat around your midsection. Now, stress and fragmented sleep trigger cortisol to lock that fat in place. But here is the turning point. Your body is not broken. It is simply waiting for a new signal. The moment you swap that sugary soda for water and commit to a 20-minute brisk walk, the chemical environment inside you begins to shift. You are about to stop the storage cycle and flip the switch to fat-burning mode. It starts with one meal, one movement, and one decision to reclaim your health today. 6 a.m. The alarm cuts through the silence like a blade. Mark sits up slowly, feeling every year of his age in his stiff, aching joints. With eyes still heavy, he stumbles toward the kitchen. He reaches for a glass and fills it with steaming water. The scent of a fresh lemon fills the air as he slices it thin. With a quiet clink of his spoon, the ritual is complete. The first sip is sharp. The tartness hits his tongue, sending a sudden jolt. He drinks it all, feeling the warmth settle. He pulls back the curtains, letting the morning sunlight flood his soul. Days turn into weeks. 14 mornings of the same simple act. Standing before the mirror, Mark notices the change. His shirt buttons with ease, the stubborn tightness finally gone. He feels lighter, his feet hitting the pavement with new power. He smiles, placing a fresh lemon on the counter, ready for tomorrow. The scale read 85 kilograms. Mark stared at those glowing red numbers, a cold realization sinking in. He looked at the greasy bag of chips on his nightstand. Without a word, he grabbed the bag. The chips hit the trash with a hollow thud. He turned to the fridge. One by one, he cracked them open, watching the sugary liquid swirl down the drain. The cycle was broken. Day 1 began with oatmeal and fresh apples. By day 5, the fog lifted. His evenings were spent chopping fresh greens and searing chicken. Mark was learning to fuel his body again. On day 10, the belt buckle clicked into a brand new hole. He stood before the mirror, pulling his shirt tight. The bloated curve was gone. By day 15, he stepped back onto the scale. 3 kilograms gone. He walked to the kitchen and bit into a crisp apple. He did not miss the old life. He had finally regained control of his own destiny. 6 a.m. The alarm cuts through the silence like a blade. Mark stares at the ceiling, feeling the heavy, familiar weight of his office life. But today is different. He rolls out of bed, laces his sneakers. His heels strike the pavement with a steady, rhythmic beat. No more scrolling through emails. This is his new ritual. As he passes the old park bench, his breathing deepens, and his heart begins to climb with the rising sun. 30 minutes in. Sweat beads on his forehead, but he does not stop. He watches the trees change with the seasons, a witness to his own persistence. The tightness in his shoulders, once a permanent fixture of his stress, finally begins to loosen. The crushing pressure of deadlines and unread messages feels miles away. He is no longer a prisoner of his desk. He feels the surge of pure energy. 2 weeks later, the belt notch moves. The scale confirms what his body already knows. No gym, no expensive gear, just the pavement and the iron discipline to keep moving. He is finally free, one step at a time. The scale in the bathroom had not moved for weeks. Sarah stared at the cold digital numbers, feeling the weight of her failure. Frustrated, she tossed her bag of chips into the trash. She finally realized her strategy of skipping meals was only holding her back. She walked to the kitchen and pulled a carton of eggs from the fridge. She cracked 2 into a hot pan, the sizzle filling the quiet room. By noon, she felt full, unlike the usual mid-morning hunger pangs that always drove her toward the vending machine. She replaced her afternoon snacks with lentils and grilled chicken. The protein kept her satisfied. Every evening, she retreated to her garage to lift weights. Her muscles began to feel firmer, and the mirror revealed a leaner silhouette. She tracked every bit of progress, noting that her metabolism had finally shifted. Every meal now centered around a high-quality protein source. She felt stronger, more capable, and completely in control of her own body. She packed fish for lunch and kept boiled eggs ready for dinner. The constant hunger was gone. Her body was burning energy more efficiently than ever before. She finally stepped on the scale, and the numbers had finally dropped. Success was hers. Mark stares at the digital clock. It blinks. 3 a.m. A mocking reminder of another night lost. He tosses his phone aside and sighs deeply. His belly feels tight against his belt. He stands up, his hand trembling as he pours a glass of water. He can still hear his doctor's warning. Your body is trapped in a stress cycle. The lack of sleep triggers cortisol, a hormone that locks fat around his midsection like a cage. Looking at his reflection in the dark window, Mark decides he has had enough. He sets a strict 8-hour alarm. The next night, he kills the screens by 10 p.m. He lies in the silence, forcing his breathing to slow down, letting the darkness heal him. Slowly, the fog begins to lift from his mind. Days pass. He hits the gym, and this time, his muscles finally respond. He pulls his belt one notch tighter, a smile breaking across his face. The scale confirms the truth. Quality sleep was the missing piece of it. Silently before the kitchen scale, his eyes locked on the digital display. 3 weeks of grueling gym sessions, yet the numbers refused to budge. He felt defeated, trapped in a body that seemed to ignore his hard work. His hand reached for a bag of chips, but he froze. He remembered his trainer's words. When you feel hungry, drink first. Mark pushed the snacks aside and filled a glass to the brim. He drank the cold water in one go. 10 minutes later, the gnawing hunger simply vanished. He set a firm goal, 2.5 liters every single day. By the second week, the change was undeniable. He felt lighter during his morning runs, and that typical afternoon sluggishness disappeared. His metabolism was finally firing like a furnace, flushing out toxins with every marked bottle he finished at his desk. By the end of the month, Mark tightened his belt by a full notch. The constant cravings were gone. He didn't need the snacks anymore. He had discovered the simplest secret to success. He just needed the water. You stare at the mirror, frustrated by the lack of progress after weeks of dieting. The scale stays frozen, and your clothes fit exactly the same. It is time to stop waiting for results and start forcing them. Just clear a small space on your floor. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Drop into a plank position, keeping your back straight and your core tight. Your muscles will start to shake after 60 seconds, but hold that position until the timer beeps. Immediately roll over for crunches. Keep your chin off your chest. Focus on squeezing your abdominal muscles with every single lift. Do not stop to rest. Move directly from crunches into leg raises, keeping your lower back pressed firmly against the floor. This 10-minute circuit targets your midsection directly, tightening the muscles and igniting the burn. Once the timer hits 10 minutes, put on your shoes and walk out the door. Walk at a brisk pace for 20 minutes, keeping your heart rate elevated. By combining these movements with consistent walking, you are now actively reshaping your body every single burn flared in Mark's stomach after greasy takeout and too much coffee. He winced, pressing hard against his abdomen. This was the 4th time this week. Sluggish and unfocused, he shoved the spicy noodles into the trash. He opened his calendar, setting 3 rigid alarms: 8 a.m., 1 p.m., 7 p.m. Consistency was the only cure. That evening, fried chicken vanished, replaced by steamed vegetables and lean protein. He chewed slowly, counting every single bite to ensure he never overate again. It felt strange at first, but a quiet determination took hold. The burning acid began to recede, replaced by a calm, steady rhythm. Within a week, the pain faded completely. Energy stabilized. His clothes hung loosely as his metabolism roared back to life. Small, disciplined changes had unlocked his well-being. He finally felt free. He stared at the scale, his heart sinking as the number refused to drop. Enough was enough. He grabbed his sugary soda and tossed it into the trash. That was step 1. He started with a large glass of water before breakfast, feeling the bloat vanish instantly. At lunch, the white bread was gone. In its place, grilled chicken and vibrant green vegetables filled his plate. The fiber kept him satisfied, fueling his body with the nutrients it actually craved. By mid-afternoon, the cravings hit like a tidal wave. Mark looked at the cookie jar, but he didn't reach for it. Instead, he laced up his shoes for a brisk walk. Sweat formed on his forehead as he circled the block. When he returned, the hunger was gone, replaced by a surge of pure energy. The next morning, the scale finally moved. Mark smiled, tying his running shoes for the day ahead. Start today, not tomorrow. Your future self will thank you. If this helped, like, share, and subscribe. Comment which tip you will try first. Stay healthy. Look in the mirror and pull at your waistband, feeling the fabric tighten. Every morning, you wake up to a bloated, heavy stomach that feels like it is burning. You have tried skipping meals and lemon water, but the scale refuses to budge. This is about 7 habits that reset your metabolism. First, drink 500 milliliters of water. Second, swap processed breakfast for high protein to stabilize blood sugar. Third, take a 10-minute walk after your largest meal. Fourth, stop eating 3 hours before bed. Fifth, chew every bite into a paste. Sixth, track your fiber to keep things moving. Finally, the 7th tip is the most critical. Prioritize 7 hours of deep sleep. Without it, cortisol spikes, forcing your body to store fat around your midsection. If you ignore your sleep, the other 6 steps will fail. Start these 7 habits today. Watch your body transform in just 2 weeks. Your new life starts now.